Æthelwulf was king of Wessex, and successor to Egbert, who had unified and expanded his kingdom with his son's assistance. Egbert passed on the title, and the responsibility of numerous territories spanning kingdoms across England, and also the threat of numerous kingdoms. He is regarded as one of the most successful West Saxon kings, who laid the foundations for the success of his son, Alfred the Great. At the beginning of the 9th century, England was almost completely under the control of the Anglo-Saxons, with Mercia and Wessex the most important kingdoms. Mercia had been the dominant kingdom in the region for centuries, and the conflict between Mercia and Wessex is inevitable. Wessex had been under Mercian control throughout the reign of Beornwulf, but when Egbert became king, he gained Wessex independence. He attacked Mercia, and defeated Beornwulf at Ellendon, and made Æthelwulf as sub-king of the regions he conquered from Mercia. During this time, England had suffered Viking raids, and Egbert was defeated by the Vikings in Somerset, but he was victorious over an alliance of Cornishmen at the Battle of Hingston Down. After the death of Egbert, Æthelwulf became king, without any challenge from any of the West Saxon nobles. Æthelwulf was already married to Osburh by this time, and his eldest son Aethelstan was named sub-king of Kent, Essex, Sussex and Surrey. However, Æthelwulf did not give Aethelstan the same power as his father had given him. He does not appear to have been given the power to issue his own charters. In the early 840s, Viking raids were increased on both sides of the English Channel, and Æthelwulf was defeated by the Viking forces of 35 ships. These seem to have been different Vikings from those who defeated Egbert, but a Viking colony had established at Carmouth to facilitate later raids. In 851, Vikings arrived in full force with 350 ships, who came to strike Canterbury and London. Æthelwulf coordinated a defense, with his son Ethelbald on land, while Aethelstan to engage the enemy at sea. The West Saxon forces were victorious, capturing 9 ships and driving of the rest. Aethelstan is presumed to have died shortly after this. Vikingdom moved on to Surrey, where they were defeated by Aethelwulf and his son Ethelbald at the Battle of Ilkley. To strengthen the bond between Wessex and Mercia, in the face of Viking invasions, Aethelwulf arranged the marriage of his only daughter Æthelwulf to the Mercian king Burgred. In 855, Aethelwulf went on pilgrimage to Rome, where he was accompanied by his son Alfred, left Wessex under the rule of Ethelbald, and the other regions under Ethelbert. On the way, they stopped at the court of Charles the Bald, king of West Francia, and then continued to Rome, met with the Pope and remained there for some time. On the way home, Aethelwulf married Charles' teenage daughter Judith. Once the marriage festivities were done, they returned to Wessex. Aethelwulf returned to Wessex to face a revolt by Ethelbald, who attempted to prevent his father from recovering the throne. Ethelbald's rebellion was supported by Ealstan, Bishop of Sherborne, and Eanwulf, Alderman of Somerset, even though they have been 2 of the king's most trusted advisors. Aethelwulf respected his son's choice, even though he had considerable support in reclaiming the throne. To avoid a civil war, Aethelwulf divided the kingdom between Ethelbald, Ethelbert and himself. He insisted that Judith should sit beside him on the throne until the end of his life. He died of natural causes in 858 AD, and his kingdom was divided between Ethelbald and Ethelbert. To consolidate his reign, Ethelbald married Judith. When he died in 860 AD, Ethelbert united the kingdom under his reign, and Judith returned to her father in West Francia. Ethelbert died, and was succeeded by his brother Ethelred, whose reign was marked chiefly by war with the Vikings. Æthelwulf's younger son Alfred the Great, who went on to become one of the greatest king of England, and his grandson Aethelstan, unified the whole Britain and became the first king of England.